It's Dr. Tim with MaxLiving Chiropractic, and this is your new patient orientation. And the purpose of this, part of it is to help you better understand x-rays, what your x-rays should look like, and this will help you better understand your own x-rays when you're looking at yours. I think one of the most frustrating things when you get medical testing done or testing for your health is to not fully understand the results or what to do about it. So this will help you understand more about your condition and the process you're going to go through to correct it. And then the rest of what I'm going to go through is really what opened my eyes and changed my life. And it's why I ended up becoming a chiropractor, and it's why patients get really good results when they come here. And it's why I expect that you'll get great results, not just in the next couple of weeks or a couple of months, but when you really know this and understand it and start to apply it to your life, it can really help to change your and your family's health. And here's what I found after doing this for many years now is that literally everybody loses their health sooner than they thought they would. And that's a struggle to get it back if they ever do. And it's because our society, we've really been given the wrong perception of what it means to be healthy. Majority of people judge their health day to day based on how they feel. Well, there's a major problem with that, right? Because the things that rob you of your health and ultimately kill you are the things that you don't feel. Heart disease and heart attacks. You can feel fine the same day that you have a heart attack. Cancer can be growing in your body for years before you ever get a diagnosis and realize that you have it. Alzheimer's and dementia, your brain can literally be rotting away and you have no idea that it is. Diabetes comes with no signs and symptoms until it's later stage or you've had it for a long time, right? So all of the things that rob us of our health are things that we don't feel. So you can see how you feel literally has nothing to do with your health, because you can feel fine and your body be breaking down. Now, on the other side of the coin, when you don't feel good, that's not necessarily a sign that you're unwell. Pain and symptoms and problems in our body, in our life, have a purpose. And you can think of it. One purpose of pain can be to alarm your body that there's a problem, right? Like, think about if the stove is on and you touch it, it's a good thing that it hurts, right? If it didn't hurt, you would melt your hand away. But the same thing is true that with the pain that you might be feeling in your neck or in your back or in your hip, your shoulder, or in your head, or other symptoms that you might be dealing with. The symptom is not the problem, right? The symptom is your body's warning sign that there is a problem. And the pain is your body's way of communicating. If you keep doing what you're doing, it's going to continue to progress and get worse and cause more and more problems in the future. So again, how we feel has nothing to do with it, right? Because you can feel fine and your body be breaking down. You can feel bad. And again, it's the question we need to be asking is what do I need to do to feel better, right? And I think that's where healthcare in general just completely misses the mark. Is healthcare, modern healthcare, medicine at least, is focused on improving symptoms and helping you feel better. Well, we got to start by asking a better question. We got to ask, what really is health? Health is not about how we feel. And the problems that you're facing right now very likely are not that you're not feeling good. In my opinion, it's that your body's not getting better. It's not that your condition is not improving. So that's what health is not, right? Health is not about how we feel. Health is about how well your body recovers or how well it heals, how well it gets better. So health is about how well your body is functioning, right? And the goal is to help you function at your best or get as close as possible to 100% function. And for me, I think that's why God put you on this planet. Like, I think you were not created to just struggle through life. Like, I think you were put here to serve a purpose. And in my opinion, you can serve that purpose best when you're functioning at your best. So 100% function, that's what I call, or what I consider, life to the full. John 10:10 tells us that the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And think about this. I would say the thief is anything that's robbing you from this right here, the abundant life that you were created for. Anything that's taking you in this direction, I would consider bad, wrong, right? And on the back end of John 10:10, though, Jesus tells us that I came so that you can have life and have it abundantly. And really, that's the whole goal of your care is to help you become the best version of yourself, not just to feel a little bit better, but to get your health back and function at your best. So the other end of the spectrum, if you were functioning at 0%, well, you wouldn't be functioning and you'd be dead. So, hey, good news. If you're watching this video, you're clearly not at 0%. And you're on the line here somewhere, right? And regardless of where you're at on this function scale, you can see to get your health back, you just got to start heading in this direction. But the problem is this, is that you got to realize you lose a significant amount of function before you start to feel the effects of a problem. So studies and research shows you drop to 60% function before pain and symptoms start. So if you are starting to feel pain or you have symptoms, again, the pain is not the problem. The symptoms aren't the problem. The symptoms are the warning sign that there is a problem. So when the symptom comes on, again, the question isn't, what do I need to do to make the symptom go away? The question needs to be, why is that symptom there? What is that symptom trying to tell me? Now, here's where it goes from bad to worse. It's because of our natural tendencies when we have pain and symptoms, right? Like when something hurts in our body or we feel like something is off, I would say, you could think that most people ignore it, but I think that kind of gives the perception that you're being negligent with your body. I don't think anyone's trying to intentionally, just not take care of their body. I think rather than ignoring it, deep down, we have this trust that God created our bodies to heal and recover. Like we know that our bodies can heal and get better. So we don't run to the doctor right away every time something hurts or we feel like we're coming down with something, right? Like we trust that your body can heal and get better. We know it can get better. But eventually something doesn't get better, right? Or the pain persists. It's been there for long enough. And here's where it can go from bad to much worse if you enter into the medical system. Because if you go into the medical doctor, and we use very specific language, and I think you'll pick up on it. If you're going to a medical doctor with symptoms and problems, what do you expect the medical doctor will do? Well, he's going to give you medicine. It's what they do. It's what they're trained in. And it's not a bad thing, but it is disappointing when we get that happen, because I know that no one's looking for the magic pill to cover up their problems, right? But think about this. If you tell a medical doctor your symptoms and the doctor gives you something to cover up the symptoms, think about this. Even if the medicine works, and of course I use that term loosely, but say the medicine works in covering up your symptoms. Say it's pain, you take something, the pain starts to go away. Well, that pain was there for a reason, right? That pain might have been preventing you from trying to do a certain activity. So now you don't feel the pain, you start to go out and do that activity. Well, all of a sudden you're wearing your body out faster. And the same thing can be said with just about any symptom and any medication, right? Like say your blood pressure is high and you take something to lower your blood pressure. Well, you didn't address any of the causes of why your blood pressure was high in the first place, right? So of course it's not going to be a good long-term solution for you, and it's going to come with a host of other issues and problems along with it. So if you're just covering up the problem, think about this, you're still getting worse. And I would argue that you're getting worse faster because you're not feeling what your body was trying to tell you in the first place, and you're putting something in your body that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. They say the person that takes medicine has to heal 2 times. Once from the original condition and once from the effects of the medication. Your body's got to detoxify and process and get that stuff out of you. So you're getting worse faster. Now, here's what's amazing about your body is your body doesn't give up on you, and it tries to get your attention again. But how does our body get our attention? It gets it with more pain and symptoms and problems. So first it might be your neck that hurts, and now it's starting to affect your shoulder. First it's your low back, and now the pain's starting to move out to your hip. Or first it's stiffness in your neck, and you're not sleeping at night. But you guys can see you're going to get more and more symptoms and problems. And here's the thing. I know you've seen this happen to your family. You probably watch it happen to your grandparents. You're probably currently watching it happen to your parents. And God forbid, most of the time, we're letting this happen to our kids. And the reason I bring it up is because there is a different and better way to do this, right? There's a better way to address and take care of our health and our bodies, but we got to start with a different question. Not what do we need to do to feel better? It's what do we need to do to heal and function better? But it almost begs the question, right? Because if this approach is so ineffective, if covering up our symptoms with medications is not a good idea, which I think most people would agree, it doesn't work majority of the time, well, why does everybody end up doing this? Well, the medical system is a very well-established system and has been for a very long time. And I'll take a little break here from putting it down to acknowledge it. Look, there is a very important reason that we have a medical system, right? Like doctors and hospitals and nurses are very important to have in society, right? I would say they're like the fire department. Like the fire department is really important to have, but you never want the fire department showing up at your house. You never want to use it if you don't have to, right? And the same thing should be true with our medical system. It should be emergency only. But why does everyone get sucked into it so early? I would say it's because of the third leg of what I call the medical monopoly. And it's the person that, or the entity that tells you what doctor you can go to and how many times you can go to the doctor and what the doctors can do for you once you get there. And it's the first question that you get asked when you walk into a medical facility. It's, do you have your insurance card with you? And insurance, at the end of the day, all they care about is the money, right? Like it is a business. And again, they have a right to do so. And does it have a time and a place? You could argue that. But what you have to understand about your insurance, your health insurance, is that its purpose is to help you get healthy. And really, like all insurances, the same thing is true. Like your car insurance is not there to do the maintenance on your car. Like they don't wash your car, they don't change the oil, they don't put the gas in. Your home insurance is not there to do maintenance on your home. Your life insurance is not there to help you do maintenance on your life, right? But for some reason, we get the thought in our mind that our health insurance should take care of all of our needs to help us get healthy. Well, by definition, it's not supposed to do that because Medicare sets the guidelines for all insurance companies, and Medicare in their guidelines says it is not to be used for health promoting or preventative activities. Let me pause and say it again so you can really get this clearly. Your insurance is not to be used for health promoting or preventative activities. What does that mean? If you're trying to use your insurance to get healthy, it's not going to happen. It's just not what it's there for. So here's the thing is we end up paying our insurance companies hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year, and then we get frustrated when we can't use it for the things that are actually useful for us. Well, guess what? It's just not what it's designed for, right? So is your health, first of all, rhetorical question, but is your health the most important thing in your life? Yes or yes? Of course it is. If you lose your health, what do you lose? You literally lose your life. And in the process of losing your life, you lose your quality of life. You lose the ability to enjoy your freedoms and the things you love to do, the ability to provide for your family or to work. Finances get drained when you lose your health. Some people will tell me, man, it can be expensive to live healthy. Expensive to be healthy? Try being sick. And then relationships get strained when you lose your health. Like when we lose our health, everything in our life gets worse. It's the most important thing that we have. And most people make the mistake of giving their most important asset into the hands of someone who could care less about it. So is your health your insurance company's responsibility? Is it Medicare's responsibility? Is it the VA's responsibility? Is it TRICARE's responsibility? Emphatically, absolutely not, right? Your health is your responsibility. But the only way that you can take responsibility for your own health is to first understand what health really is, right? Health is not about how you feel, and it's not about doing things that just help you feel better, right? Health is about how well your body heals and how well it functions. And the way to get back up the line out of this system and back to the life that you were created and called for is to, again, start by asking a better question. What needs to happen for my body to heal and function better? And that's a simple answer. It's these 5 essentials. It's chiropractic care, it's nutrition, it's mindset, it's exercise, and it's minimizing your exposure to toxin. And here's the thing is you can do majority of those. You can do 4 of them, you can do 3 of them, you can do 2 of them. And is it going to help? Sure. But it's never going to be the complete picture. And I can tell you that firsthand because I lived my entire life living a healthy lifestyle. Like I grew up health conscious. I was an athlete, and I kind of made the connection that if I took care of my body, I'd perform better on the field. So I was always working out and trying to eat good. But in my 20s even, I was struggling in my health. And if I wouldn't have found this chiropractic piece, I don't know where I would be. And the reason for that is these 4, nutrition, mindset, exercise, and toxins, they're all going to affect your health. But there's one thing that controls your health. And one organ and one system that controls everything in your body. And it's so simple. The thing that controls everything in your body is our brain, spinal cord, and nervous system, right? So in order for your brain to control your heart or your lungs or your digestive tract in order for anything in your body to heal and function properly, it needs connection back to your brain. And that connection happens through the signals that your brain sends down through your spinal cord and across nerves into your organs, cells, and tissues to stir them into life and allow them to work. Right? Simple example, but you can imagine if I were to take a scissors and I were to cut all of the nerves that led to your heart, you can imagine your heart is not going to function well, right? And it'll stop very quickly. Now, say I don't cut all the nerves that lead to the heart, but what if your posture changes? So when I say your posture changes, just imagine you start to look like this. Like you start to look like your grandma did or your grandpa did, or look like someone in a nursing home. You start to have this hunch forward, right? And you start to get tension on these nerves in your upper back that lead out and control your heart. Is there any way that your heart's going to heal and function at 100%? Of course not, right? If there's tension on the nerves, it's going to disrupt the signals from your brain leading to your heart. And the reason I use this posture to connect to the heart is because it's well documented, right? They say when you lose 2 centimeters of height or more, right? And you don't lose centimeters by getting shorter. Your legs don't get shorter. It's your spine and your posture changes, right? So say I'm supposed to be 5'8", I ended up being 5'6", that great like hundreds % increased risk of heart disease. It's because of the extra tension that puts on the nerves that lead out and control your heart. All that to say, that doesn't just happen to your heart, right? That could happen anywhere throughout your body, right? And that's why we started by taking x-rays of your spine to identify the areas of your spine that are not in a good position so we can help you correct them and get the tension off the spinal cord and off the nerves to allow your body to start to heal and function well. And I hope this is the point where you're starting to connect the dot and say, oh my God, this is so much bigger than the pain that I'm feeling in my neck or the pain that I'm feeling in my back. This is about the connection between your brain and your body, and this is about your health in the short term and the long term. So for me, this whole idea was like life-changing. My sister-in-law ended up going to chiropractic school, and she told me this when I was in college and playing football. And me, again, as an athlete, I was trying to do whatever I could to perform better in the field, and something just clicked. I was like, oh my God, so this affects everything in my body. She said yes. And then she gave my first adjustment, and it literally changed my life. Like I felt better than I had ever felt before. Like I slept great that night. I felt like I could see better. I felt like I could breathe better. And I felt great for like a day. And then the next day I felt just like I did before. And this like real important part to understand, I think this is what holds most chiropractic offices back, and most patients' experience with chiropractic is most people do. They get good short-term benefits from chiropractic care, but there's no long-term lasting result because the right steps in the process aren't put in place to keep the spine to a good position. And that's what happened to me for years. Like I would get adjusted every time I saw my sister-in-law, but I didn't see her all that often. So I saw her every couple of months. I'd get adjusted a couple of times. I'd feel better for a couple of days, but there was no long-lasting impact. And for me, that was rough because in my 20s, I was suffering from anxiety and depression. Yeah, no neck pain, no back pain, which you'd think I would, playing years and years of football and having a car accident and having a snowboarding injury. None of that made my neck hurt, but it really put a lot of stress and damage on my nervous system. And for me, the biggest issue I had was in my neck. And to help you better understand x-rays, when you look at the spine from the front, it's got to be straight. Pretty simple. When you look at the spine from the side, it has to have curves in it. And this poster does a great illustration of showing it. So the spine has to have curves in it. And the most important area of the nervous system is in your neck. Your neck's got to have a nice flowing 45-degree C-shaped arc. When you have the arc, they call that the arc of life. When the spine's in that position, there's no tension on the spinal cord, and there's a clear connection from your brain to your body. When you lose that arc, and this is what happened to me, is all that compression from football hits and a car accident, I lost the arc in my neck. So imagine your neck's got to have an arc in it, and you can just, with your hand, you can do this while you're sitting there. There's no tension in my hand when there's an arc in it. Well, if I lose that arc, so say that you lose the curve in your neck, it straightens out, the skin in your hand gets tight, well, that's what happens to your spinal cord. Now, the worst thing that can happen to your health, say your neck starts to bend in the opposite direction. Just like the skin on your hand gets very tight, it stretches your spinal cord up to 5 to 7 centimeters longer than it needs to be. And that tension puts your body in a state where it's not healing well. It's constant tension on the spinal cord. you're always a little bit on edge. You're always a little bit stressed. For me, that's what was causing my depression and anxiety. And it was ruining my life. And again, years of chiropractic care, but here and there, inconsistent. And it wasn't until a chiropractor took x-rays of my spine, explained them to me, that I understood the process that I need to go through to get my spine into a good position and keep in a good position. Like, think about this. If your teeth were really crooked and you got braces on them, but you only put the braces on for a day and they took them off the next day, and they told you, why don't you come back in a month? We'll do this again. Your teeth would never get straighter over time. This is what most people end up doing with chiropractic care is they never get their spine into a good position and keep in a good position. And that's the purpose behind all of the additional spinal rehab therapies that you're going to be going through. And it's a lot of extra work. It's work before the adjustment, it's work after the adjustment, it's work at home in between your sessions. But in doing that work, you can keep your body healing and function well, not just temporarily, but for a long time. So again, it all starts with understanding x-rays. And the first x-ray I'll go through is what we call lateral cervical. And hopefully everyone can see the arc that needs to be in your neck. And I'll explain a couple measurements for you that you'll find on your x-rays. First measurement I want to point out is the arc. The arc's got to be from 38 to 45 degrees. Optimal range, 38 to 45. And then the other measurement I'll point out to you is right here. This is the amount of forward head posture that you have. So again, it's measuring how much your head is doing this. And simple example, you can look at your parents, your grandparents, the nursing home. The more forward head posture you have, it decreases your quality of life and your health because of the extra tension that it puts in your spinal cord. So 20 millimeters or less is what we're looking for there. So 38 to 45 for the arc, 20 or less for forward head posture. Last thing I'll show you is the space in between your spine. These are called your discs. And your discs got to have nice even spacing. You might have heard of a condition called degenerative disc disease. Another name for it is arthritis. Arthritis is spinal degeneration. It's not just something that happens over time. It happens with poor spinal position and loss of motion. The spine's not in a good position. It's not moving well. Your spine breaks down and degenerates. So again, not random. Doesn't happen just as you get older, but it's a joint that's breaking down. So you can see neck's got to have an arc in it. If you lose that arc, they call that phase 1 spinal degeneration. You stay in phase 1, it will progress to phase 2. So phase 2, you can see the discs starting to wear out and break down. If you stay in phase 2, it will progress to phase 3. Phase 3 is where the spine starts to fuse together. When the spine degenerates, the spinal cord decays. When the spinal cord decays, the nerves decay. When the nerves decay, the nerves are leading to every part of your body. Your body starts to break down and rot. So I'll show you one more set of x-rays. The reason I show Sam's x-rays is to help you better understand the difference between traditional chiropractic care and corrective chiropractic care. And then again, to really drive home this point that your insurance is not going to have your best health interest out for you, because Sam had been a patient in a chiropractic office for 2 years, but he still had back pain and leg pain. And you can see his x-rays. You could probably see why. You see Sam's hips are not level. Left one's dropped down. You see Sam's spine is not straight. It's got a twist in it. No wonder his back hurts. But again, this is after 2 years of chiropractic care. So I asked Sam, can you describe the type of care you've been receiving? And Sam tells me, well, they give me 12 visits every year. Now, they isn't his chiropractor, right? Who's they? They is his insurance company. Right? His insurance company knew that they would continue to make money on him if he would get adjusted and feel a little bit better, but he'd be slowly getting worse over time. So say Sam is at 50% function. He's in pain, symptomatic. He gets adjusted. He feels a little bit better for a couple days, but does nothing to correct the position of his spine. So inevitably, his pain comes back. He goes in the next month. He's been doing that month after month for 2 years. But Sam has a family, and he's trying to be responsible with his finances. Look, finances are important. I'm responsible with mine. I encourage you to be with yours. And Sam starts telling me, well, this other chiropractic office, I've got a $25 copay through my insurance. I said, okay, great. So Sam has a $25 copay. He pays that 12 times a year. Sam's paying $300 for his chiropractic care. First of all, how's it working out for him? Expensive aspirin at that point, right? Like temporary relief. Still probably better than aspirin, but he's getting nowhere with his results. But I say, look, Sam, you're already making a big investment in your health. You just don't see it, right? I said, what do you pay the insurance company every month? He said, well, I've got a $500 premium. I pay that 12 times a year. So already Sam's paying $6,000 into his health, but get no result for it. Now, before Sam can even use any of his benefits, Sam has to hit his deductible. So he had a $5,000 out-of-pocket deductible before his benefits even kicked in. So you guys can see it adds up very quickly. It's all a numbers game, and they come out ahead every single time. The only way that you could take advantage of that system is if you were sicker than everybody else using it. Not a very good strategy. So again, if you had the option, which of course we all do, right? You just want to put your money towards something that's going to help you heal and function better, right? And that they say, what, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I'd say, it's tenfold, 100-fold. The monies that you invest effectively into your health, you will see the return on. But again, this is not all to be about dollars and cents, but it is to help you kind of wrap your head around what you're probably already doing in a different way that you could do things. But at the end of the day, Sam just wants to get better. And of course, pain is not a fun place to be in. But in my opinion, pain was the least of Sam's problems. Sam, at 52 years old, was already taking 5 different medications. So Sam had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He's diabetic. Was taking antidepressants, like way more people are than you would think. And for 17 years was suffering from ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis, if you're not familiar with the condition, Sam was bleeding every time he's going to the bathroom and going 10 to 15 times a day. And I can't imagine trying to live life like that. Now, autoimmune conditions medically, they're managed by trying to lower down your immune system, trying to weaken your immune system. So to do so, they had given Sam low-dose chemotherapy to take. And Sam had been taking low-dose chemo for 17 years. Imagine what that was doing to his body. So I asked Sam, I said, Sam, has anyone ever talked to you about the position of your neck before? And Sam, just like me, never had neck pain. He said, Doc, I don't have neck pain. I've got back pain. Well, you guys know your neck is the most important part of your body. It affects every part of your body. So knowing what you guys know about x-rays, you can clearly see Sam's neck is not in a good spot. See, Sam's neck has to have an arc in it. Sam has no arc in his neck, right? His arc's at 5 degrees. He's got 50 millimeters of forward head posture. His discs are already breaking down, degenerate. It's not that Sam doesn't have the ability to heal and recover and get well. It's just Sam's body is not going to heal with that much tension throughout his spinal cord. So Sam wants a different result for his life. I said he just takes a different approach. I said, rather than doing 12 adjustments in a year, like he had been doing, or doing 36 adjustments in 3 years, like he would have, I said, we're going to do 36 adjustments in 4 months. Right? The way to see change in anything in your life is through repetition. I would say this, if you wanted to get fit and you joined a gym and you said, I'm going to go in there 1 time a month, I mean, you'd get nowhere with that, right? But say you join a gym and you hire a trainer and you go a couple times a week, you can get pretty fit pretty fast, right? Same concept applies. It just takes repetition. So Sam needed 36 adjustments. He needed spinal rehab before and after his adjustments. He needed equipment so he could do his spinal rehab at home daily. He needed re-x-rays so he could track his progress over time. And as you can imagine, Sam's insurance wasn't excited about covering this approach. So out of pocket for Sam, correction was going to cost $3,800. And honestly, in comparison, there is no comparison, right? Again, it's just putting the money in the right place. And I want to be sensitive and empathetic and sympathetic, really, because I went through this too. I was 21 years old when I got my x-rays taken, and mine looked just like Sam. I had no arc in my neck, and it was ruining my life. And looking at my x-rays, at first, I was like so excited to go through this process because I understood it. It made sense to me. It already started to see some results. But I was a broke college kid at the time. I had $700 in my bank account, and I had no idea how I was going to go through with my recommendations. And I think I had to go through that experience and get squeezed way tighter than I'd like to help you better like understand and like yes, like I don't know how you're gonna do it or if you can do it, but I still know you should do it and you need to do it. And you can think if I don't correct this, what do you think is going to happen? It's inevitably going to get worse and cause more and more issues in the future. Well, if it gets worse and causes more problems, what's that going to cost you? If you don't have the time to do it now, if you don't have the money to do it now, are you going to have it in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? And just imagine the effects that the tension on your spinal cord is going to cause if you don't correct it. So again, I want to be sensitive to everything because I know it's much more than you were expecting to come in and pay to take care of your aches and your pains. And I hope at this point you can start to realize and see this is way bigger than about my aches and pains. This is my life and this is my health. And every single patient that goes through this process and gets a great result goes through the same process and the same struggle, and it's time, it's money, it's energy, it's commitment, and is one of the best decisions you'll make in your life. And I told the same thing to Sam, and I'll tell the same thing to you. Just stick to the game plan. You're going to get great results. So Sam goes through his correction. You can probably see some of the changes on his x-rays. He starts to get an arc back into his neck. He decreases his forehead posture. His discs start to get healthier. And just imagine, you start to take a little bit of the tension out of the spinal cord. Do you think your body can heal and recover? Of course. Well, what does that look like for Sam? Yes, Sam's back pain got better. That's a big deal. Like anytime pain goes down, life gets better. But that was like a little bit of the like fast forward a year from that time, Sam is off all 5 of his medications. Blood pressure down, cholesterol down, diabetes reversed. Antidepressants no longer needed, and his digestive issue, ulcerative colitis, not an issue anymore. Like amazing, amazing. Well, that was 5 years ago. Fast forward 5 years later, Sam keeps living this healthy lifestyle. He's down another 50 pounds. He was 365 pounds when he started. He's just over 200 right now. And at 57 is the healthiest he's been in his life. And for me, the best part about it is Sam, again, as a father, got to be the example for the rest of his family. And they look up to him. He's a hero in his family now. And he's inspired so many other people, not just in his family, but in his community. And the first thing that Sam told me when he sat down to look at his x-rays is, I really got to get my daughter in here. I said, absolutely. Like you guys probably see, we take care of lots of kids. And it's because, in my opinion, that's the most important time to start to take care of our bodies is when we're young. It's like the things that we're dealing with later in life, they didn't just start a couple years ago. They started way back when you were little. And the most traumatic event that we all have to go through in life to our spines, the biggest trauma we go through is birth. Like think about how we have to get here. We have to travel through a birth canal, and we're pulled out by our heads, and babies' necks, the muscle in them are really underdeveloped. Like they can't even hold their heads up. You can imagine how much stress and trauma that puts to their spine and their brainstem. So if you have kids at home, you have babies, you have nieces, nephews, grandkids, by all means, this is my encouragement to you is get them checked. At the very minimum, get them checked out. Like you have no idea how much of a difference it can make in their health by taking the tension off their spinal cord. So Sam, he said, look, my kids have issues. They need to come in, especially my oldest, Miranda. And I said, okay, what's going on? Well, Miranda, when she was playing softball, 18 years old, senior in high school, took a softball off her head and ended up with a migraine that lasted 3.5 years. Not days, not weeks, not months, 3.5 years. And they tried everything. They tried medications, injections, Botox, acupuncture, nothing touched it. And so she's got a migraine and goes to college, right? Always a straight A student in high school, but now she's in college, has a migraine. You can imagine how hard college would be with migraine. Starts failing classes for the first time in her life. And frustrated, she's like, man, I can't pay attention with this pounding headache, and looks for help. So she goes to her doctor and looks for help. But you guys know what happens to children that can't pay attention. They get help, but help is medication that helps them pay attention. So she gets a prescription for Adderall, ADHD medication, so she can focus throughout the day. Wakes up with a migraine, takes the Adderall, makes it through her day, but can't sleep at night. Well, needs more help. Gets more help. More help is more medications. So she gets prescribed Ambien. Takes Adderall in the morning, takes Ambien at night. Is depressed about her life. You can imagine. Gets more help for her depression. Gets prescribed antidepressants. Well, those don't work. Her mood starts going high and low. They think she has bipolar disorder, gets prescribed bipolar. And you can see how this can spiral out of control really quick. And I wish Miranda was the only person that this happens to. Again, I guarantee it's happening to someone in your family. And at 21 years old, Miranda's on all this medication, still has her migraine, fails out of school, and has to move back in with her parents. And Sam, like I hope you guys are, has this light bulb moment. Oh, when she got hit in the head with a softball, maybe that rocked her neck out of place. Well, we take her x-ray, she gets the right adjustment, the right place, and the right time, and the migraine goes away for the first time in 3.5 years with her first adjustment. Right, which, awesome. Now, I called her later that night and I said, hey, Miranda, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing so good. My migraine came back, but I'm really hopeful in this moment. And I wish one adjustment was all that Miranda needed. And I wish one adjustment was all that Sam needed. And I wish one adjustment was all that I needed. The reality is this. It took a process for your body to get where it's at right now. It takes a process for it to get into a better position. But it's an awesome process. And again, you guys could probably write Miranda's story as she goes through it. Like, goes through correction, gets her spine to a better position. Her brain and her body start healing and functioning better. She gets off her medications, back into college, graduates with honors, and she's going to go to chiropractic school so she can do that for more people. If you can't tell, that's what happened for me. It's chiropractic changed my life. I expect it to do the same for you and for your family. But just recognize, like, it is a process. It takes time, it takes repetition, but you're going to love this process. Second thing I'll really recommend is get your family checked. There is no reason not to. And sometimes parents will tell me, well, my kids seem pretty healthy. And how would you know? How would you know? Is it because they feel better most days? Like, just imagine this. Morgan, patient of ours, 6 years old, with an x-ray like this, would you say she's healthy or sick? Right? She has no arc in her neck. She has no space for her brainstem. All this is compressed. She's already got forward head posture developing. You would say she's sick, right? Well, but she had no symptoms at the time. As a parent, would you want to take care of that? Of course. But again, the only way that you would know is to check. And kids tend to respond real quickly, tend to respond real well. This was a couple months later, about a month and a half. So again, if you have kids, you have family, encourage them, get them checked. And the last thing I'll tell you is that there's a major, major problem in society these days, and it's the overuse of the medical system. It's not that we have a medical system, it's not that it exists or that people use it, it's the overuse of it. I haven't met many people that like taking medications to cover up the problems. Most people just don't know a better way exists. So when you do feel comfortable and confident that this is a place that people can come to and get well, just let them know what you're doing. And if they live a far away from here, good news. MaxLiving is a network of doctors across the country. We could likely find them one close to them. So today's all about your x-rays, though. You should understand what you're seeing on yours. We'll point out all the details for you, and we'll make great recommendations for you to get great results. Can't wait. Really excited for you.